Oh, no.
Okay, Peter.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. I call to order the Select Board meeting for Monday, September 22nd, 2025. We're coming to you from the training room of the Public Safety Complex, and of course, we're available on Zoom as well. Just a quick note before we get started that at the end of the meeting, we will be going into executive session. Our executive session is regarding MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21, and that's to discuss, Part 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, and that's with our police union. Also, MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21, Part 1, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, and that's just to take a look at the executive meeting minutes from September 8th. And MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21, we did Part 3, we did Part 1, now we got to do Part 2, and that's to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, in this particular case, our interim town administrator. We will return only to adjourn. That being said, let's go through the consent items. Number 1, approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on September 8th, 2025. Number 2, award fiscal year 2602. Okay, diesel.
We had an 01.
Yeah.
Yeah, now there's a.
Diesel fuel contract to RJ McDonald, and then award FY26 heating oil contract to Fraticelli Oil. Number 4, to appoint Edward Darcy as a full-time public safety officer effective October 1, 2025. And number 5, approve the request from the Paxton Boy Scouts Troop 105 to place a sign on the town common for their bottle and can drive to be held on October 25th, 2025 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Are there any comments from the other members of the Select Board?
No.
No comment.
Hearing none, we will consider them consented and passed. Okay, we're up to the introduction of Dr. Ryan, the new president of Anna Maria College. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you in our small town here, small but wonderful.
That's great. It's wonderful to be here, and thank you for just a few minutes to introduce myself. As you mentioned, I have the privilege of serving as the 12th president of Anna Maria College, and the first thing I'll say is I know we've enjoyed a great relationship over the years, so one of my top priorities will be maintaining that relationship as we work together for the betterment of the institution and the town in kind of a mutually beneficial way. So I come here after 19 years in Louisville, Kentucky. Funny enough, grew up on the South Shore of Massachusetts, went to school up in New Hampshire, moved almost 19 years ago, so this is somewhat of a homecoming, although I'm not from Paxton or the Worcester area, the South Shore, and I've enjoyed the 11 weeks getting to know people here, and very much look forward to getting to know each of you. As well, my wife is born and raised in Lowell, Massachusetts, so she's happy to be 45 minutes from her folks and brothers and sisters, so we're going to enjoy that. We have a wonderful institution, as you know, and I look forward to strengthening that partnership. I know our deans were here a couple meetings ago to talk to you about some of the programs and things we might be able to do together, and I'm excited about that, very much excited about that. So happy to be here. What a beautiful beautiful community. You know, the parts I've seen. My wife and oldest daughter are back in Kentucky for a year. My daughter's a senior in high school, and I joke with people that she's going to pick my nursing home someday. So I have to stay in her good graces, and pulling her away from her friends in school as a senior in high school probably wouldn't help that cause. So she is coming up on fall break, and I'm excited. She's looking at schools in this area now. So hopefully we'll get her to come to Anna Maria or a school within the region here. So always know I'm available to you as a resource or for questions or anything that might come up. I take the town and gown relationship seriously. I was a senior vice president at Bellarmine University, where I came from, and that was one of the areas that I worked closely with. So have some experience in that area as well. So with that, I'll let you get on with your business, but know that I'm always here, available, very excited to build a relationship with you and move forward together. Happy to be in Paxton. Great community, beautiful community from what I've seen so far. So I told my wife I want a small house and a big barn. So with that, thank you again for having me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Well, first of all, welcome a couple of Bay Staters back to Massachusetts. It must feel good to be back home.
It is. It's funny, when I was interviewing at the college, a woman, questions were winding down, and she said, "If you get this job here, when you move back, will you lose that Southern accent you got?" And I said, "I don't know about that, but I know who the first pink slip will be." No. I hope you can tell I have a sense of humor, too. So it is great to be back. I told her, give me a month or so, a tune-up, and I'll be right back with her. So
Dropping the R's.
That's it. Yeah.
Very good. What attracted you to Anna Maria College? Was it the region?
Yeah, so certainly the region was something. I've spent the better share of my career in Catholic higher education, so very much the values and mission of the institution align with my own personal values and mission, which makes it very easy to represent, on a daily basis. I always say a college president's 24/7, 365, so that has to be congruent. And then small private higher education is incredibly important today, and it's under incredible pressure, too. So the challenges are great, and I'm never one to back down from a challenge. I think we have an incredible mission and an incredible place in a community like Paxton to play a role for a lot of students that wouldn't otherwise have great opportunity. I say to people all the time that I'm not one that's big into college rankings. They don't do a lot for me. But the one that I do pay attention to is social mobility. To be able to take a student that hasn't been given all the privileges of many others, educate them in 4 years for the next 40 to 45 years of their life is an awesome responsibility and something I enjoy doing and take very seriously. So like all of private higher ed, we have our challenges, but I think we're going to be fine. We're going to work through them, and you'll see some changes rolling out here in the next 6 months to a year that will solidify our foundation even more.
Well, I know you're not into college rankings, but I think it's safe to say you are the #1 ranked college here in Paxton. So,
That's it.
you're starting off on the right foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell people all the time, we're high up on this hill, so out of the Catholic colleges, we're the closest to God, too.
There you go. There you go. It's always good to be on the high ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Questions or comments? Julia?
I have none.
No.
Well, actually, I take that back. I have one. How old were you when you moved to Tennessee, or what did you say, Kentucky?
So I, full disclosure, just celebrated my 52nd birthday a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and we've been there 19 years. So, yeah, been gone for a while. I'm one of 7 children, and everybody, all but one, is still in this area. Mm-hmm. So every vacation was back home to see mom and dad and cousins and so forth. So minimum 3 or 4 times a year we'd be back.
I asked the question because I wonder, at what point in your lifetime you can still develop an accent. I think that's great.
That is funny. Yeah. Funny enough, our oldest son, we have 4 children. Our oldest son is a junior at Providence College. So I say the joke's on him. He went 16 hours to get away from us, and now we're 45 minutes down the road. So I told him I'm going to enjoy those 8 a.m. breakfasts on Saturday and
That's
Sunday
right.
mornings, Keep him on his toes.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling you might be enjoying them alone. Chris?
Not at this time, no.
Carol?
Just welcome, like Peter says,
Thanks.
welcome.
Kirk?
Well, it's kind of ironic because I went to school at the University of Kentucky, and I worked in Louisville on Story Ave when I got out of college for a few years. Moved here in, I think, 95. But my daughter is the manager of Jeff Ruby's in Lexington.
Holy-
Most of my family is rooted in Lexington, so
Okay.
we're kind of reverse commuting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's wild.
So
That's
welcome.
funny.
And by
Thanks.
the way, you don't have to lose that accent. I'm back in Kentucky for 10 minutes and I got it all back.
Great, thanks.
Ewans know what I mean.
Well, welcome aboard. Thank you for coming in this evening. Very much appreciate you coming in and introducing yourself. You can be assured that, Kirk left Kentucky and has never left Paxton, so it's a warm, friendly community, and I think that as you settle in, you're going to find just that.
Great.
So welcome aboard. Thank you very much, and best of luck to you. I'm sure we'll be speaking often.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And,
Thank you.
Have a great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Mrs. Fenton. You're up next to present information on the Paxton Women's Club Scholarship Toll Road. Welcome.
Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Yes, the Women's Club decided to try another fundraiser as a toll road because it was very successful last year. And so we're going to do it on October 4th, and it's with the help of the Paxton Lions Club because they gave us their safety vests and they gave us those large wooden signs. And Travis of the DPW is giving us cones so we can have everyone, so it'll be well marked where they are around the common. And this year I was smart and I contacted the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts so that there's no other congestion on the town common. So I understand it's the 25th for their can collection, so that's good. I always like safety first. I'm too paranoid. We were going to allow Venmo, because not everyone comes to the town with money they'd like to give out. I mean, we've been advertising not just on the electric sign, but in the Landmark and the new newspaper, Wachusett Free Press. And we've also got it, I have flyers all over town. And what they have on it is the symbol for Venmo. So we hope people will, because if we have people stop and try to use Venmo, it would be a mess because, get out the phone and da-da-da. So we are hoping that people will, if they don't have change, will access the Venmo on the flyers. And Donna's going to put it online, so it'll be another case where it will be available. Now, I should say the scholarship is for graduating Paxton seniors, whether they go to a college or trade school. So it's not just college, trade school, because whatever they do to improve their future, we're all for it. So that is what we're planning on October 4th. We hope for three things: good dry weather, generous people, please, and careful drivers. I'm the worrier at the group, so please, everyone, drive carefully. So that is what we're planning, and we hope that we have enough. It would be wonderful to be able to have 2 scholarships, but it varies between 1,000. Sometimes it goes up to more. When Dr. Locke generously gave us a donation, and we were able to give a higher amount. But I mean, please open your pocketbooks or go to Venmo and do what you can, so you can help the students improve their future. And that's it. Are there any questions?
Any questions at all?
I have no questions.
No.
Kirk?
No questions.
All right, so,
I'm going to take a quickie and jump over and put on a new hat with the COA on the art
before
gallery.
you go there, though, we just have to approve it, if you don't mind.
Come on, sure.
All right, thanks.
That's fine with me. Prove it all you want.
So I need a motion then to approve that on October 4th, 2025, from 8:30 a.m. till 12:30 a.m., the Paxton Women's Club Scholarship Toll Road will take place. It's already been signed off on by both Chief Pinchatori and Chief Savassa. So may I have that motion, please?
I'll make that motion with a quick amendment that it'll go to 12 p.m. I'm assuming you're not going to go
Yeah,
until midnight.
12:30 p.m. would
Yeah.
make more sense, wouldn't it? It says a.m., but I think...
8:30 is when they go out. 12:30 is when they get
Yeah,
taken away.
12:30 p.m.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I read it right off of here.
But not AM,
I didn't
no.
pick that up. That'd be a
Although, who
long toll
knows?
road.
Yes.
Who knows how much we collect?
That's
going,
right.
yeah.
I know. Maybe
All right.
free scholarships.
So that motion is made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll abstain, please.
Okay, hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carol abstains. We're going to be getting to the senior center in a little bit.
Okay.
I do have a couple of items that I need to get to before we get to the senior
Okay.
center. But
Okay.
thank you for coming up and telling us about the toll road.
Okay, thank
Appreciate
you.
that. All right, next up, we have an update from Mark Love on the Finance Committee and the Capital Improvement Committee. Mr. Love? Somebody out here is very excited that you're here.
I don't know who that is.
Welcome.
Thank you. I've been at a number of select board meetings, obviously like yourself, and have seen any number of committees and boards give their committee updates. And my takeaway in each of those is that they're usually enlightening and oftentimes very upbeat and occasionally fun. I think our giving a Finance Committee report this evening, we're going to be a little challenged on the fun side, but if you'll bear with me. And I do want to recognize there are other Finance Committee members in the audience, David and Jeff, and we're also flattered, I think not for our reason of our presentation, but our FinCom Emeritus member, Rich Fenton, is in the audience this evening. So good to see you, Rich. I think on the upside, we all recognize that the override recently passed, and with that, there's some good news, and with that also, there's a fair amount of relief to some departments for some period of time. But as much as that has been helpful, the Select Board and the Finance Committee, who met jointly any number of times for about 2 months during last budget season, we'd all concur that notwithstanding the goodwill of the override, we're not out of the woods yet. And we're not out of the woods yet because the override was graciously $550,000, but we were dealing throughout the year with a $1.130 million deficit. So as helpful as the override is, it doesn't plug that remaining gap. But this is not the evening or the place or the form or the time, nor do we have a full complement of Finance Committee members, which typically takes us 1 to 2 hours each time we meet to go over that and to recommend any suggestions to the board. But I do think on the occasion of our giving a slight update on the Select Board's own agenda this evening, under item 4-6, it says special town election, what are the next steps? And that's a particularly good question. What are the next steps? And even though we haven't vetted this at the Finance Committee, we only talked about our attending this evening last Wednesday. But I think we should all be mindful that the next steps might not just be preparing an FY27 budget. It seems to us that it needs more than that, that perhaps in the works should be complementing that same effort to prepare the budget, a multi-year plan. Not a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, which occasionally gets too daunting and too much information for some, but a 3-year plan so that the select board can plan, the finance committee can plan, employees can plan, departments can plan, residents can plan, and everybody knows what's forthcoming. It may not be the best recipe to have overrides. We've had 4 in 16 months, so have overrides every 4 months, some of which pass, some of which don't pass, and we never really know one year to the next. So I think something as an additional byproduct of preparing the budget, working jointly with the select board might be in order, because we all know that in short order, there's going to be, when our free cash is certified in October, there's going to be huge demands for that and conflicting demands for that. Do we use it for the budget? Do we use it for capital needs, of which we still need police cruisers? We still need to replace a 40-year-old dump truck. And we also know that the Wachusett Regional School District, which has its own problems, has submitted to us an 8% increased budget a year ago. I'm not hearing or seeing or feeling anything that's indicating that that's going to be any less coming forward. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I think year to year to year, budget to budget to budget is not the way that we should go about the next 3 years. I think we need something more, and I think it needs to be cooperatively and jointly with the select board kind of a plan. So we don't go from special election to special election wondering whether or not an override is going to pass or not pass. Again, notwithstanding the fortuitousness of the override, there's still a lot of work to be done. And we're up to the task, and we look forward to working with the select board to get us to that particular point. So with that, I'll take corrections from the Finance Committee members or questions from the Select Board.
I have one quick thing. Towards the end of June, I think you sent out a to-do list for the Finance Committee, which was very comprehensive and well thought out. And I'm not here to discuss the different points, but I am here to caution you that the to-do list actually is a violation of the open meeting law. And I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page on that so that we don't venture into those waters again. There were some bullet point, enumerated points in which you said need to be discussed, which is perfectly fine. But as soon as you got into the argument part of it, where you're presenting an argument one way or the other, that can't go through email to all the committee members. So I just wanted to point that out to you. It's something that early on, when I first took over as chair, it was something that was reminded of me. Thankfully, I never actually did it, but it's something that could get us into hot water.
So the point is that the open meeting violation, which when I first heard that, it sounds daunting. It was really that those things need to be sent to the committee at large for scheduling purposes and not for editorial purposes.
Right. As soon as the editorial was added to it, that's what pushes it over the edge. And it's an easy
fix.
Trust me, anybody who's ever chaired a committee will tell you it's very easy to accidentally continue on without even thinking about it and then sending it out.
Right.
But I just wanted to remind you, and that's something that I'm going to have our town administrator send out to all the chairs, just a reminder that, you know, that open meeting law is pretty strict.
Just as one footnote to that, Peter, on the heading of it, it says, for discussion purposes only, for consideration purposes only, for draft purposes only. So it was never intended to be a formal document. It was intended for those very discussion purposes. But if we have to tweak it to make sure we're aligned with open meeting law, we'll be the first to do that.
Yeah, just the editorializing, that's all. Anything else?
No.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank
How
you.
about, were you going to do capital improvement as well?
Yeah, I was going to, I actually have a capital improvement. I'm not speaking to this next point from experience, but I would equate the capital improvement planning committee update to be similar to those that watch soap operas, where you miss it for a year and then you see one episode and you've caught up fully in terms of what you missed for the whole year.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
We could submit our report for capital improvement planning right now, which included a 40-year-old dump truck, police cruisers. Those are the things that are still there. The committee has not met. That we typically meet in October through January, February, so I'm giving you old information, but I can tell you the new information is those two capital needs need to be addressed, and we'll do that, and we'll be reporting to the select board in that regard.
Terrific.
Oh,
Thank
quick-
you, sir.
Quick question on capital.
Fenton, how'd I do? Not as good as you, but not bad? No response.
Oh, wow.
Any other questions?
Quick question on capital is, do you have a full complement right now on the
do.
capital
Yeah,
improvement planning committee?
With the appointment of the interim director as the new member, yes, we do.
Okay.
We finally do,
Good.
yeah.
All right.
Committee of 7, and we have 4, for anybody else who might like to join us.
Any other questions?
So a committee of 7, but you have 4, is that what you just said?
We have 4 members, yes.
Okay, so you don't have a full complement, you need 3
Well,
more to
we
make
didn't
7.
meet because we didn't even have a forum.
Right, right.
So you've got a quorum, but
We
not
needed,
a full complement.
Robert
Yeah.
to be appointed. Now that he has, at least we can have a quorum.
Good,
We can
right,
meet
right.
as a quorum, but we can't meet when we don't have a quorum.
Yeah, so you still have 3 open seats on
Yes.
capital? Okay, all right, so I just wanted to make note of that for anybody who might be watching, that we do have some needs on the capital improvement.
Very important committee, too.
Yep.
Any other questions?
No.
Kirk?
No questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Love.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we got an update from the assessor's office.
That will actually be given by me today.
Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I actually have an update for the CIPC. So I do have another member that's coming from the Board of Assessors. Matt Higgins will be joining us on that committee. So we will have an additional member. So if someone is not able to make it, we can still meet. And then, like Mr. Love was saying about the boards and committees usually having exciting update, I'm glad to say the Board of Assessors, we do have an exciting update. We had the job posted for a couple weeks, and we've received back a couple very good applicants who we will be interviewing shortly and should have the position filled in the coming weeks. So we're very encouraged by that and think that will be in good shape. In the meantime, we have been keeping up with recent sales, abatements, and just really trying to get out there for inspections. So I know that this year a lot more people have seen that door hanger tag out there saying that we've been out trying to assess your property. Just want to make sure we're not assessing you too little, too much. We want to be just right. So if you do see one of those tags, please give us a call back so that we can ensure everything is going on correctly at your property.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions?
No.
None?
Kirk?
No questions.
All
No
right.
questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great news, Robert, thank you.
All right, next up is to approve the MS4 policy. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to read through it.
Yeah, I do think we have a couple of things that need to be changed.
All right, let's take a look.
On the abatement.
On the policy, I think, and the abatement, so bear with me. I just have to catch up to it. So on the
That's
billing and collection number 3 on the draft policy, The billing cycle should be monthly instead of annual. And then billing month wouldn't be applicable at that point. Let's see. So there's a couple of pieces on the budget and financial management that I looked at, and it says the Department of Public Works shall submit a proposed MS4 enterprise budget to the Select Board for review and approval. I'd suggest that we align that with our normal budget process and have that DPW shall submit a proposed MS4 enterprise budget to the town administrator for review to include in the budget process. And then have it go through the, the normal budget process as everything else does, which then changes the budget approval piece. And then the semi-annual financial reports, I think, should be handled similarly to any of our other enterprise funds. So however we handle it currently with our water department, really, in terms of any financial reports that need to be completed, should probably align with that.
The MS4 isn't part of the water.
Correct.
No, but it's just going to act like.
But it's going to be handled similarly.
Correct.
And then as far as abatements are concerned, that actually I didn't have any specific changes. And I know we, why reinvent the wheel, right? So we do pull these policies from area towns, and this was our neighbor, I believe, right? Yeah. So all we need to do, we're just making a few little tweaks, which not unexpected, to the policy, just to make sure that it aligns with what we're doing in Paxton. But with that, I don't have any other changes personally.
So my question then is, what about the properties that are on a street in Paxton but are not in Paxton?
Yeah. So
We've got, a handful of those.
There's a handful of those, right? And so I think that my personal take on that is that it should match up with however they pay their taxes. So if they're paying taxes entirely to Holden, for example, we have several properties that pay taxes to Holden but exist on a street in Paxton, then I think that this shouldn't apply to that property.
So that should be added to eligibility then?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
Yep.
But we have properties that are in 2 towns.
Yeah, and so do we have some properties that are paying taxes to 2 towns? I thought so, yeah.
Yes.
And so we'll have to prorate that.
Yeah, I think if we go by where they pay the property taxes, that's going to cover that. It's just going to be a percentage.
Yeah. That sounds reasonable to me.
I think so.
Yep.
So I picked up on that, what you did, Julie, on the number 3, the billing cycle should be monthly rather than annually.
Right. Yep.
And that was in 3. And then the I thought there was somewhere invoices will be made. Yeah, invoices will be mailed to property owners. We're not going to be mailing them, are we? They're going via the
They're going out with the light bill.
light
Yeah.
bills
Which is mailed.
or online. I don't get a bill.
I do.
I get a bill. It's online. I don't get mailed to me.
I get it mailed to me.
We could
I'm
alter
old.
it to just say it will be invoiced with the electric bill or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw was that property that's not in town.
Yep. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's important. That was one thing that we needed to clarify.
Anybody else have anything? Kirk, you have anything?
No.
I do not.
Chris, we're good?
No. Yep.
Let's make those changes and bring this back up next meeting then. Put this on the next agenda as well. Make sure we get it right. Which leads us right to number 3. And it's to approve stormwater abatement application. Excuse me.
Don't recall seeing anything on that.
I don't see any issues there.
Oh.
The reasons are spelled out in the policy, so I think the application is fine.
Yep.
So if I have can I have a motion then to approve the application for the stormwater abatement?
I move.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Awesome. All right, next up, I'm sure that you guys took the time, put down the novel you were reading, and read through the Paxton Fire Department updated policy and procedure manual.
I believe the chief should be on his way shortly, if you want to pass over that. And
Yeah, we can come back to that.
Peter, are we passing over the senior center right now, or?
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
How about that? Went right over it. After I told Anita that we would be addressing it. I'm sorry, Mrs. Love, I apologize. I'm getting old, and the eyesight's not quite what it used to be.
Then you'll be able to join us.
You're right. Fair enough. Come on up. Yes, please. And again, my apologies.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Donna.
We always welcome new members. Well, good evening, and thank you for inviting me back this evening. I believe we are here to talk about the senior center meeting space use.
Correct.
Those who recall, we were here in June. You asked me to appear in June to actually, at that time, to discuss the energy of the building and to try to conserve energy. And through that process and that discussion, we also talked about the meeting space at the senior center, the usage of the building, and what has been transpiring over the past 10 or actually 12 years that I have been there. So upon leaving that meeting, I took the advice of the board and did a little research myself in seeing what other senior centers' policies were, how they, because most senior centers are used for boards and committees. And we came up with a couple. I did that research. I think I forwarded a couple to Donna, who forwarded them to, I think Julia received, I think she sent them to all of you. I'm not 100% positive, but with that being said, we decided, our board as well, and Mr. Bedard and myself decided to at least make an attempt to compose a use of the meeting space at the center. And with that, I think we came up with a fair plan of how the senior center should be used. And those who have seen it, I believe all of you, Select Board, have received that letter that I sent. So we met in June. I forwarded this letter to all the Select Board in July. So with that being said, it kind of pended on the override as well. So those who have read the current policy, it was prior to the override. So things may have changed as far as the energy of the conserving of the building. So if that's the case, then obviously it's the Select Board's decision what to do. But at the time that this was written, it had included the energy,
Yep.
trying to save the energy of the building.
Yeah, I remember the discussion.
So as I mentioned at the prior meeting, and those who have listened to me over the 10 or 11 years about the use of the building, in fact, we just had another recent incident with our basement and downstairs with the split units. And that's some of the use that I was talking about, a misuse and people not on purpose, but not recognizing things that should be done. So apparently, during the summer months, the split unit was running with the dehumidifiers on, as was suggested to me. Those who, or someone had used the basement with the light switches are attached to the split units. So when the lights were shut off, one of the switches to the split unit was shut off as well, which caused a water problem. The units were working, but they weren't filtering out the way they were supposed to, so water was gathering a little bit in the basement, which led to the finished part of the basement. It was brought to my attention several weeks ago. R.J. McDonald was called to look at it and had determined that even though the switch was marked "do not shut off," it was shut off. So that caused the water problem, which caused them to do the repair and for us to have the floors cleaned in the basement. So that's, again, just one of the newest incident. And I don't think I need to go through what has transpired and the things that are happening. If you'd like me to, I can. As far as the usage, the lights are left on, air conditioning left on, the front doors are left on, so on and so forth.
And this policy is designed to address
We're
those
hoping
issues.
it does.
Yeah.
Because that's the home of our seniors. That's, we're there 5 days a week. Our seniors look forward to coming in. We've tried to update it over the years and make it a, friendly, warm place for our seniors to come and enjoy. As I mentioned, a lot of the updates, most of the updates in the building were due from our donation account. It didn't cost the taxpayers anything to update it, and we did the carpets, we have them cleaned, the painting, the furniture, etc. So we'd like to kind of keep that nice for our seniors upon visiting and enjoying the center to the best of our ability with our programs and event and our meals as well. So while this is just a draft, we just thought we'd take it upon ourselves to kind of form this, and obviously it's the select board's decision. Obviously changes can be made, or maybe you don't want to have a policy, but we just thought we'd put that in place. It has gone to our COA board. They have read it and voted to approve it. Not that that has overshadows you, and some of our board members are here to support it as well. So.
No, I think most of it makes perfect sense.
The only thing, pardon me.
No, please go
The
ahead.
only thing I will say, we did leave out, as many of the centers and their policy has charged individual groups, organizations to come in. I didn't feel in our community, being a small community, that was necessary. But just so you know, some of the centers do charge a fee to, not boards and committees, but organizations and such, to a yearly fee or a monthly fee, and that just goes to a donation. So that was not included, but just so you know, Julia, I think you had asked me, did some of the senior centers charge
Right, yeah, we wanted
a small fee?
We wanted to make that determination in the event that we had to implement energy saving measures, that we would have an alternative to saying no. You can't use the space. In the event that we would have to take that route, we'd much rather have an alternative to say you can use the space, but there's going to be a small fee to help offset the expense. So, however, I do think we're probably in a different space now with the override passing. So I think that's, in my mind, that's the first item we need to address.
Okay, so then let's jump specifically to the last two items on the enumerated list, because those are the ones that place the restrictions due based on our discussion in July. When we were thinking, how are we ever going to get through the winter here? I think the override certainly changes that.
Right.
It's difficult because, number one, we don't have, in my opinion, and this is strictly my opinion, but I don't think we have a proper senior center. You look at what Holden has and some of the other communities, and certainly if there was any way that we could possibly do that, we would. And we're lacking meeting space. We don't have a lot of public spaces that we can offer So it's a challenge, and that's why I like to see a lot of these implemented, because I think it will hopefully. The goal is to tighten it up a little bit so that things are returned the way they are. But speaking of 9 and 10, I would prefer not to put those restrictions in. That's my feeling. Julia, what are you thinking?
I agree. I think with the override passing, there's a lot of groups in town that really do rely on the space. And given that we don't currently have an alternative for them, I think it makes sense to not have those restrictions in place at this point.
Chris, thoughts?
I agree. I think this is when we were in the dire need of changing stuff. So I would agree to take out 9 and 10 at this point.
At this point and for this winter, and we'll have to revisit
Right.
again. Carol?
I say same, yeah.
And Kirk?
I completely agree.
All right, so that would be 9 and 10. Now let's discuss the other 8. Any questions, comments regarding numbers 1 through 8?
They make sense, just taking care of the building. Making sure, look around, make sure that everything is in its place when you leave it, and that you turn everything off. It makes
Especially,
sense.
it's got to be irritating as can be to have something set up, and then you come back the next morning, you have to do it all over again,
Well, I think that it's even more disconcerting when you drive up and it's 20 below zero and the front doors are wide open, and then you worry about the pipes freezing, and we're very careful in the winter, even with our kitchen.
Yeah.
We know with the underground, but I understand people come in, they're here for a meeting, they're in a hurry, meeting's over, everyone's in a hurry to leave, they gather up their things. I understand that. Everything isn't going to be pristine like we have left it. Sometimes it's not even pristine when I'm there. But I mean, just a little bit of, common courtesy to think of our seniors coming in, the next morning or for a program, because a lot of times, we're very blessed to have Scott, and Scott's listening, thank you for all your help, but we're very blessed to have Scott. He comes in and sets up our rooms for us. For the morning, because we have, we don't always have time in the morning, so he does a great job, puts a sign up, and please, if anyone used the room, just put it back the way you found it, however it's set up. So, in trash.
So, one question. I mean, there's someone that schedules the room, correct?
Yes.
So someone's in charge. Is it possible to give them a checklist and make them responsible and take ownership of the fact that the building is shut down properly of an evening?
That was one of the things I was going to mention, Kirk, that we could turn this into a checklist for people to receive when they, when they schedule the room, so that they mark it off, that they have completed that, and perhaps turn it back in to show that it's been done.
Because it is difficult. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kirk.
Just a sign off, so there's a name that's responsible if there's a problem. And then also, I guess, reinforces the fact that there needs to be responsibility with having a free meeting space. It's kind of like the competent person in charge.
Not only the cleanliness, but the safety of the building, primarily, too.
100%.
The fans running in the bathroom, the air conditioning, or whatever the case may be, it's not going to take very much, and we hate to lose the only building that we have in town for meetings, and even for our seniors. We do have the keypads on the door. We're having 2 more installed, one in my office and one in the kitchen. They've been working well. We just changed them. We'll hopefully change them every month. So the only thing that I may want to add, if I may, or you may not want it added, and Donna was kind enough, and we try to inform, police, fire, that the codes have been changed. So the regular individuals from boards and committees and organizations have the new code number. So the only thing I would like to see added would be, and I'm not sure how to word it, would be anyone that has the code would only go into the building. I don't know if that's too restrictive. When there's for their organization or their board or committees. Because if you're running in on the weekend to drop something off, what happens if? I'm just putting it out there, so I'm not
I'm wondering if maybe the code, the way we manage the codes, we should think about a little bit, and probably a better conversation offline, just for security reasons. But perhaps we can assign a particular code. We can have one steady code for you, a steady code for, police and fire to be able to get in, so that they don't have to worry about having the updated code, but having an updated code or a rolling code that only the, people accessing the building for, the outside groups would receive. Because I think part of the ability, and the nice thing about having a code, is being able to track who's coming and going. And if we are all using the same code, then you're not really accomplishing that. So I think perhaps that's something that we can think about a little bit more, and it might depend somewhat on how easy it is to manage the codes in that particular type of lock. But just something to think about.
No, I agree. So if there's a way of doing it, we'll just come up.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of the changing codes, because you want the code this month? Well, last month, let me tell you what happened.
Right.
Just a little reminder that this isn't the way it's going to work. So that's,
But at the same time, it is difficult because we changed them Friday, and then my concern was the custodian was coming in, for example.
Right.
I think I sent it to the chiefs, but someone who may have come in Saturday for a meeting that I wasn't aware of, maybe had tried to come in Saturday. So
well, it should have been
Yeah.
scheduled then, right?
and it
Well,
should
right.
have been scheduled. And
So if it was scheduled, then then they should have it.
we're just, and maybe the possibility of the thought process was to put a camera on the outside of the door. We had one. And now it's not working, so now it's time to replace it. So maybe if we put a camera up there and something occurs in the building, we can go back and see who it was.
Yeah.
Helpful, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Bedard?
Dick Bedard, 10 Burton Mile Circle.
One second, we just got to get you a microphone. Thank you, sir.
Dick Bedard, 10 Burton Mile Circle. I'm also chairman of the Council on Aging Board. Before I retired, I was also school plant manager for the Worcester Public Schools. So when this started, Cindy asked me to help her put this together. I want to make a comment, not to change anybody's ideas. We listened to Mark tonight, and he told how bad the budget was. This 9 and 10 that you're talking about has no implications as far as this budget because the override passed. But let's say we implement 9 and 10 and we save energy. That helps the override the next time a little bit. I don't know how much. I don't know how you track the energy. But we got to keep thinking about whether we have an override or not. That building is old. It's not insulated, especially the basement room, which is down there by itself. When you come into a cold building, when you shut it down for the weekend, you come in there on a Saturday morning, the building is cold, all the walls are cold, all the furniture is cold. When you go in, are cold, and it takes a while for you to get warm, the building to get warm, and all this is burning oil. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
And I respect that, and that's why I wish that we had a way to provide an alternative space. We shouldn't have to keep returning to that building, but shouldn't doesn't help us, and we don't have the luxury of another space that I can think of, that I can come up with, that we could offer to other town, not just the boards and committees, but the other outside entities that come in and use it. The Boys and Girl Scouts, they both use it. And they have to be in a public space. They don't have a choice.
Right.
When I was growing up, that wasn't the case, but today, that's for safety reasons, that's the case. I hate to pull that away from them, and that's exactly what that would be doing. I agree with you 100%. I really do. I lose sleep over the budget, and that is not an exaggeration. But I think that with the passage of the override, if we can get through one more winter offering it to those groups, I'd like to do that. Certainly would like to clamp down on this.
And it's very hard to control the heat in that building when we're occupying it 5 days a week, because it's a very, very cold building. No matter how we've tried, put new burners in. So the problem is, a lot of it is, if we don't have anything particularly going, we don't turn the heat up in 2 particular rooms. But there might be committees coming in at night that will crank it up, and we don't use it for 2 days, so it's running. So, I try to manage the heat as best as I can. We're getting oil every week and a half now.
Right.
So maybe we can ask whoever's using the rooms tonight, please, resume the temperature to whatever it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can
Something of that nature, just to remind folks
include that on
turn
a
the temperature
checklist.
down rather than leaving it at 75
Yeah.
or whatever the
Should
case may
cap
be.
it as well.
I know it's a minor thing, but we burn a lot.
We also had to put a top-end cap on it as well. I don't know that we need to be.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
75
We
degrees.
have those in our restrooms.
Yeah.
The caps that, are you talking about the caps that go over there?
No, what I'm saying is that you can't just go in there and crank the temperature up to 78 degrees.
Right.
We're trying to be respectful of all the different pressures that we have. So I think for now, my feeling anyways, is that we should leave off 9 and 10. It sounds like we all are in agreement on that. And again, that's something that can be revisited next year. This is just for 1 year. How about 1 through 8? I need your comments or anything on 1 through 8.
Peter, may I interrupt? Would it be okay if we put those plastic covers over the thermostat so they can't be played with, or would you prefer not to have that done?
The only thing that I worry about, Donna and Carol and myself, we've been in there on nights when there was no heat.
And you can't.
And let me tell you, that building does get cold. And it gets cold pretty quickly. So I don't know about not turning up the heat at all.
Oh, no, I don't mean leave it on, but I mean leaving it at a reasonable temperature, 68.
Like if you know if a group is coming in that night or something, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
Or we just tell folks just to make sure
No, I think that if you know if a group is coming in and you set the temperature,
Yep. If we can take it out of the hands so that they don't have to worry about that.
I think that's a great idea.
And, I don't know if anybody I know the light department will do these energy audits. I don't know if they have anything that they can say about heating oil. But, I think there's different schools of thought on that. And for this particular building, I'm not sure what the right answer is about whether it actually uses more oil to bring the building up to temperature rather than just maintain it at a reasonable temperature. So
it's like your home, you try to leave it the same. But if we're not using rooms, if it's January and we're not using rooms 4 days a week, I don't know if it's better to keep it on 68 for the week or.
Right. It's
RJ McDonald says turn it down over the weekend. On Fridays, turn it down.
Yep.
To whatever, 60.
yeah.
Right.
Unless it's bitter cold, so.
It's the overnight.
right.
Where you let it go down overnight, and now you're cranking that heat up the next day. That's the thing. But I like addressing your idea. I like the idea of covering those up and having the director in charge of that.
Yep, I agree.
Carol, thoughts?
I like the idea of the checklist. I think
I do too.
if you've got a checklist, you have to put your name to it. Whoever's in charge has to do that checklist, gets it to Donna via email or whatever the next day, and you've got they're accountable then. If we find something and they've checked off that they've done everything, then they haven't.
So the checklist, Carol, are you thinking to leave them in the building, like on the front desk, so whoever's coming
Whatever.
in?
I mean, whatever.
Okay.
But whoever schedules the groups, then let them know.
Okay.
And it has
Certainly the group.
to be
If it's
turned in after.
If it's a town board, they can have it emailed to them anyway, and just the chair can do that anyway.
Right.
But I think that's a good idea. And then if they've got the name to it, then we know who's been in there. And
Yep. And we could set it up so that in order to get the code, they have to receive this checklist, and then they turn it back in when they're done. And it can be done electronically.
yeah,
So it
absolutely.
I agree.
doesn't create additional hassle, really. So
Chris?
No, I agree. I think with the checklist, it will control the codes too, right? Because whoever's going to be in there has a checklist signed or whatever, and then we could go back to that person, whether or not it's the same code for the same month. At least we know who's in there.
Okay. Kirk?
Yeah, I agree with what you guys said. I mean, I think the checklist with a sign off, somebody's got to sign their name. They're signing out the room, basically. That they're signing, they're going to be responsible for it. It's a good start, even if we can't solve the code problems right away. At least there's an accountability factor there.
All right, so, excuse me. So I would propose then that we update the policy that we have here, include a checklist with it, and at the next meeting, we vote to approve it.
Yep. Yep, that works for me.
David, can I ask
Yes.
a question? Can I ask Cindy, what was the thought for number one in asking that there be 14 days in advance to book? Because-
Actually, where we got that, I think you had a while back started a policy, and we took that, we can leave that out, but we took that from one that you had initially started or did a draft on. I don't know if you recall it. I have it on my computer. It was one that, I'm trying to think, maybe a year ago when we went through this. I can't remember the time frame.
Okay.
When Heather was here, she had, I don't know, we talked about it and a policy, and I don't know if it came from you. I'm assuming it may not have come from you. So whoever did it, I received it. So number one, but that can be eliminated.
Okay.
Because that 14 days does seem a little bit.
It seems a lot, but there should be some advance notice as well.
Oh, sure, absolutely, but we
You know.
do get a lot of, I just
I
got a
guess that would-
request today from Charter Committee to be able to come in because they kind of
So I guess
planned a
that would
last-minute
be-
meeting, so that does happen more often than
Yeah,
not.
I would say so, because they have to post 48 hours, so.
Right.
So I think that would be up to you, Donna, because you schedule the.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was another thought behind.
No,
why
there
you needed
wasn't.
more.
I
Okay,
took it
okay.
from a draft that was sent to me about 6 months ago, so we thought it was important, so we included it because whoever wrote it, it seemed important. So
All right, gotcha.
if you feel 14 days is a lot, you can change it to whatever days, but that's where that thought came from. We just,
Yeah, there should be advance
you.
notice of some sort. I don't like the idea of eliminating it.
Well, I think whoever is asking to use the space should understand that, if there is an advance notice, that you might not have availability.
Right.
But such is life, right? But I think that really falls on the person scheduling to make that determination. Now, I do have a quick question about the scheduling, though. Does Donna have all of your senior events already put on a schedule so that she
No,
knows?
Donna, we share a calendar now for the evening meetings, excuse me. I do email Donna if we are, for some reason, occupying the building at night, which we
Yeah.
generally never do.
Okay.
Or a Saturday, or if there's, for example, we're not having our health fair, which reminds me to bring up the clinic before I leave. But if we have something going on that requires 2 days of setup or whatever, I
Right.
always email Donna in advance generally to give her that heads up.
Okay.
But happy to share our calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Because I ask that because I know sometimes if the room is set up ahead of time for an event, you don't want anybody going necessarily in that room. And if there's an alternative, right, like they can go into the activity room as opposed to the dining room or
Sometimes
whatever.
we're using both at the same time.
Right, exactly.
So our biggest program days, not that it helps Donna at all, is usually Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. That's our biggest program day that we set up. For example, most of our things are on Wednesday are set up Tuesday night. Wednesday night for Thursday morning, and sometimes our exercise classes on Friday. Whoever's in there will break down the tables so we have a clear room. So
Yeah.
happy to kind of give you that schedule if you feel you need it. And
Yeah, we think we work it pretty well. Cindy, anything that needs to be booked during the day goes to Cindy while it's her
Yep.
business hours.
it's kind of like every
Anything that
Tuesday,
comes-
Wednesday, and
Yeah,
Thursday.
anything that comes in for a nighttime meeting comes over to me. And if I have anything that runs into a weekend, or like Cindy said, a program that's going to affect the evening, we let each other know. And we do have the shared calendar that's got that information on there.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's too bad that we don't have space where we can, say specifically like this space is for the outside groups and this space is for the seniors. We just don't have enough space for
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
To help eliminate that need. But hopefully we can, looking long-term in the future, we do have some spaces in town that I'm hoping maybe we can look at using for community space so that we can separate the senior center to keep it, all, senior center, and then have the community groups in a separate area with any luck. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's very challenging for everyone. We all try to do the best that we can and, make it work. So if I may say one more thing before we leave, I just want to remind folks who's here and whoever's listening, we have our vaccine clinic at the Council on Aging, the Senior Center, on Wednesday. CVS will be on hand for COVID and flu shots. Flu shots 65 and older, and those under 65, regular flu shots are available, as well as COVID. The CVS will be there from roughly 10 to 2. Scheduled 10 to 1, but they'll be there until 2. Just to let everybody at home know, stop by. Hi, Robin.
Can you clarify the under 65 for flu and COVID?
Well, the
Yes.
65 and older is a different dosage.
Correct.
Yeah,
For-
but if you're under 65, will you be allowed to get a COVID vaccine?
Oh, yeah, we'll have,
Or will you be?
we'll have the 2 vaccines, 2 flu shots. So 2 is the,
I'm just looking for confirmation based on federal versus state guidelines.
okay, are you referring
Yep.
to COVID or the flu?
Yep, so we're not, so Massachusetts is allowing COVID vaccine for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yep.
All Cindy was referencing was the flu vaccine is a different
It's a
flu
different
vaccine
strain.
for 65 and up.
You know, the COVID,
Yep.
we almost weren't able to have it because CVS needed that approval from, as you know, CDC,
It was
Yeah,
late
because I tried to
coming.
book it through CVS and they
Yeah.
turned me away, and then I went
Yep.
to Walgreens, they turned me away.
But they-
So I was curious if I could get it.
But they reassured us 2 weeks ago, the state was, when they
Yep.
passed it.
It was late coming, but
We will
it's-
have the
yeah.
latest, the
Terrific.
2026 COVID.
All right.
I guess, 2026.
Thank you very much.
Anyways, thank you.
Thank you.
Before you
Have a
go,
good
Cindy,
evening.
can I just say?
Hold on one
I
second.
didn't notice this before, but number 6, after number 7, can we put town committees, town board and committees take preference over outside groups? Because you've got down the first one,
Yeah,
the
I
council on
agree.
aging.
Right.
We've always done. Donna's
Yeah.
always scheduled it that way.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
wanna-
boards
We
and
should probably
committees
clarify
Yeah,
that
for-
we
priority.
know that, but I just
Over,
we just-
I agree.
Could we just put that in? Because
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until just.
Over outside groups.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Are we all set?
All right, thank you.
All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, my apologies for accidentally missing that in the beginning. Don't know how. I suppose I do need to wear the glasses after all. All right. Chief. I was worried we were going to get through a meeting without hearing from you.
Me too. I'm a little nervous myself. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a.
You're
I
being,
didn't bring one for everybody.
you're being optimistic.
We're going to start at page 1, and then we'll just, or no. Good evening, Mike Pingitori, Fire Chief. Most of you have seen me over the last couple of weeks, and some media form or another. So tonight, I'm just looking for you guys as a board to approve and put your signature on the new and improved Paxton Fire Department Policy and Procedure Manual. Really, it's been about 4.5 years in the making. And it's a what I like to call a living document. Every year we'll review, update, and make sure our policies and procedures are up to the latest and greatest standards, and obviously in line with the legal standards as well with the state of Massachusetts and the federal government. So I was hoping to have this back and in place for July 1. Legal took a little longer getting through it. Understandably so, it is 185 pages. They made their corrections, we adopted them, and so now we're moving forward. So, and really to just clarify, it's more of an administrative policy and procedure manual that governs how we operate in this building, on scenes. It doesn't tell us how to do our jobs. That will be coming further down the road in a standard operating guideline manual for the department. But this covers the basics of making sure that we are following employment laws, being an equal opportunity employer, and HR, how to handle problems in the building, how to handle problems on scenes, if anybody gets into an accident, what we do from there. So any questions on that?
I didn't have any.
No.
I actually did read it. Was not easy, to be honest with you.
It is long.
It's
Put it
very-
in the smallest room in your house, right, Peter?
Well, it's very thorough. It's very thorough, which was good to see. Any questions or comments here?
You mentioned legal reviewed it.
Yep.
So our town council had a chance to take a look at it.
So yes, I overwhelmed town council briefly, but I didn't break the legal budget, and it kind of bridged both fiscal years, so we should be good there. No, and really with this manual, the hard part and why we needed so much legal review of it is, our department is not unique as far as fire departments are concerned, but when it comes to being an employer in the town, we have both on-call employees, part-time employees, and full-time employees. So in order to make this manual effective, it has to parallel the collective bargaining agreement for the full-time employees. It has to parallel the town handbook for all employees. And, we work 48-hour work weeks versus a regular 40-hour work week. So there's a lot of little nuances with the fire department that don't necessarily mirror the regular employees of the town. So, yep, thank you.
Perfect.
Chris?
No questions.
Carol?
No,
Kirk?
thank you.
Well, good.
All right, then you got off easy, just so you know. You gave us 185 pages to read. You got off easy.
At least I didn't give you all separate manuals.
I
All came
need-
electronic. And that's the other thing, the employees will get it electronically. We'll keep 3 hard copies here, just to be cognizant of the budget. And plus, it makes it easier to update and everything and email blast people.
Yeah. So I will need then a motion to accept the Paxton Fire Department's updated policy and procedure manual.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
All right.
And the chair votes aye.
On behalf of the fire department and the men and women that serve it, thank you for your support on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And being the optimist that he is, he has the signature page ready to go.
No, to use my stamp.
Thank you.
Jeff Cormier, Recreation Chair, is up next, but I don't see Jeff.
So, in his absence, would I be able to bring that up? Because he reached out to me regarding the issue.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. So Jeff reached out that Paxton Youth Soccer would like to expand the hours of the Haven at Klingley Snack Shack. So right now they're approved for the weekend. They're now requesting that they be able to open during the week. And they're hoping, because there's some half days and holidays, that you would approve from noontime until until the games conclude.
So I'm going to start off with a question here real quick, and that is this. So I'm assuming we're still talking about operating the hours in which youth soccer is on the field.
Correct.
And only those hours. Correct?
This is for the same concessions that the,
Well, that's what I'm
Right.
asking,
Yeah.
because if you're talking noon until games are over, it's very rare that during the week there are games at noontime when the kids are also
Right.
supposed to be in Paxton Center School or Wachusett High School. So we're talking Columbus Day, and that's it. So the noontime it's not jiving with me. That's why I'm asking that question. Now it's beginning to sound like we're approving a full business operation out of the concession stand at Klingley. And I don't know that that was necessarily the intent. And so that's why I'm asking that question.
Okay, I do not have a definitive answer on that.
So then I think what we're going to do is we're going to move this, since Mr. Cormier was unable to attend, we'll move this to our next meeting so we can get these questions answered. I think that's an important question. We need to know.
Yes.
Carol, you look like you're deep in thought.
No.
The only concern with that is that it is only a 2-month.
I know, I understand the concern. But I got the concern on this end as well.
Absolutely.
You know, and so if there's no games going on and they're open at noontime, then they're not opening just as a concession stand for youth soccer. They're now running a full business out of there, which means that I would assume they're taking orders from the town, from Anna Maria, or whatever. And number one, have we licensed for that? Number two, well, there's a lot of issues coming up now. Because if you're talking about a full-fledged business out of there, you know, you've got, I don't know if the inspection regulations are the same. I don't know if there's a lot of potential questions here that I think we would need answers to rather than just.
I just don't see the point opening at noon if there's no.
Well, that's my question. That's what I'm trying to say. Unless you're thinking, you know, Anna Maria College kids are going to order from your business.
I know they're doing online ordering, so they could do that, but.
Or are they?
I agree with Peter. I think we just need to
Just
Clarification.
bring him in and get clarification.
And I understand what you're saying, that, you know, it's a limited season. My inclination would be that if this is successful, which obviously it is since they're looking to expand, it's not going to be a one-year operation either. So I'd rather get it right the first time rather than chasing our tail. So we'll put that on the agenda for our next meeting. All right, special town election results and next steps. Well, there was only one question, and we saw what the results were. The override has passed. Now we just have to talk about the next steps. The first next step, I would assume, is we're going to have to interview Mr. Birkbeck to see if he's interested in becoming a full-time town administrator. We'll talk about that during executive session.
Full-time interim.
Full-time interim, thank you. Yes, until January. Well, till February, but we're going to decide in January. We've also got to talk about restoring treasurer-collector. We've got to talk about assistants.
Yep.
And really, that's about it. The money was designated, so we're all set there.
Yep.
I don't see any reason to do anything there. Julia, your thoughts?
I
Since
agree.
you are our town hall liaison?
I do think it would be nice to restore the hours that were eliminated from the town hall, mainly the treasurer collector and the town administrator, so that we can move those positions back to being the hours that they were previously full-time. And then in terms of the assistants, that's been a difficult role to fill, in part because originally we had one assistant that was split between the treasurer collector's office and then the town clerk's office, and then we tried breaking it out and having one person in each position because they are different positions and report to different people. So I think I would want to see that relief brought, but I think we need to be thoughtful about how we do it to make sure that that relief is.
That's only for the town clerk.
Right. What we have right now is really only for the town clerk. That's right. That's a valid point,
Yes.
Carol, because when we increased the treasurer collector's hours, that eliminated the assistant there. Yeah.
And
The town service coordinator, isn't that?
That's another role that we need that I'd like to look at. Exactly. Yeah. So the town services coordinator, or I'm not sure I don't remember what it was changed, permitting person, what that changed to, but that role was cut significantly and is currently being occupied on a part-time basis. And I think that role needs to be more than part-time based on the amount of work that's being asked of the person who's there. So, we need to kind of think about how that could be morphed as well now that we have additional funding.
but that's not just part-time, it's shared,
No.
isn't it?
It was
No.
just one position.
It wasn't just,
Yeah, it got increased.
no, I understand that.
Yeah.
No, I mean now. Isn't it also shared with fire?
No,
It's just doing town
it's
services?
just doing town
Okay.
services. The fire department took on the
right.
administrative role themselves.
Okay.
I'm sure that they would like to have an administrator back,
And
but
then the other
yeah.
question is, and this is something that we should talk to our clerk, our clerk about, because she said, when we were going through the budget process, that this year, without an assistant, she'd be okay because there's no big elections.
Yep.
Next year, she's absolutely going to need one. So is it something that we fill?
So I would personally have the town administrator report back in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, that's where I was going with
Yeah.
this, is I want
Right.
to
What he
know
wants to do after
what
he's-
really is the need for that.
Exactly.
Yep, agreed. I completely agree with you, Carol. I think these are some of the things that Robert, as the interim, would be able to delve into and figure out, with the assistant, with the use of assistant
Yep.
and the permitting coordinator,
Yep.
if,
And the treasurer collector.
and the treasurer collector, what the best way is to
Go forward.
manage that. Yep, I agreed.
If I have recommendations tonight, would
Yeah.
you be open to those, or would
Oh.
you want to wait?
Working ahead.
No,
I like that.
No, that's fine.
Okay, because I definitely see that there's a need for our town clerk to have an assistant. She puts in countless hours there and is very thorough with her job and could absolutely
Okay.
use the help. She's going to be out for the next week and a half based on trainings, vacation. We have no one in that department for that time. We're not asking for a, very high number of hours. It's just something to aid during the peak time so that she can continue to, give the residents that exceptional service that they're accustomed to by Lori, and also get done all the administrative stuff as well. So having an assistant would greatly help her and that office be successful. And I think that there's definitely a case there for
Okay.
an assistant.
Like I said, if that's what yourself and town clerk decides on, that's fine. If the budget's been restored, so
Okay. And then that goes the same for the treasurer collector. We're actually going to keep her at 32 hours.
Okay.
And would look for an assistant for those other 8 hours. So,
Foreshadowing, I didn't know, but foreshadowing.
yeah, so that's something that we came to the conclusion of would be the best outcome for that department.
okay.
I didn't see that one coming, to be honest with you. And what's the rationale?
So that would give outside perspective in that office and also give Liz the ability to focus on other tasks while the assistant is taking payments and things of that nature so that she can do the more meaningful tasks of reconciling and making sure everything else is going according to plan.
So we're reverting actually back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, that's just going back a ways. Okay. And any others?
As far as my
Recommendations?
No, for
Oh, okay.
Town
As
service.
far as my office, I would definitely recommend the 40 hours in there because I have been very strained at the 20 hours and have not been able to perform as well as I would like to in this office due to the budget and hour restraints.
And I think that's not unexpected.
Okay.
well, I recommended that anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And then the permitting coordinator, I'm not sure how much
So
you have
that's
your brain
something
wrapped
I
around
need
that
to
one.
talk with Jeff
Okay.
about because he is doing a very good job with the allocated hours right now. But
Yeah.
there's definitely need for more than that. But I don't know what his appetite or like
Ability.
capability of handling those increased hours
Yeah.
are.
And the
So-
boards have been quiet over the summer. They
Right,
might start getting back into a regular.
yeah.
Yes, we will definitely see an increase in board participation
Right.
from Jeff.
Okay. So,
Good to know.
yeah.
So based on recommendations, any discussion?
No, do you want a motion?
Go ahead.
I move that we allow, that we, number one, increase town administrator to being a full-time role, and that number two, we allow the town administrator to manage the hours at the town hall as he sees fit within the budgetary constraints that we currently have now that the override has passed.
And we did put some restrictions on hours, didn't we? For the winter, are we going to lift those? But didn't we decide to close certain days?
We did.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's town hall hours, right?
What were those? Forget.
Sorry, I'm just writing stuff down. And your thoughts on the town hall hours?
I would recommend we stay open on Mondays throughout the year.
So just go back to the 4 days?
Correct. I would not close Mondays if we get into a situation where we deem it necessary, that maybe we can look at January or February, but I would not want to eliminate Mondays right off the bat.
I agree. I mean, I think that's what the override was all about, to restore what we'd said we needed to cut. And those were some of the things we thought about to conserve energy and save money. And it's not that we want to spend the money, it's just that we want to give the services that we promised.
Right.
Correct.
Julia, are you including that in your...
I'll accept that as a friendly amendment to my motion.
Fair enough. So the motion is for the town administrator to be restored to full-time, town administrator then to manage the hours in the town hall based on budgetary restrictions / constraints. And number three, the town hall to remain open 4 days throughout the winter, to be revisited only as necessary.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Kirk, any discussion from you?
None from me, thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, thank you,
Thank you.
for having that prepared. Appreciate
you.
that. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think I missed anything on the new business, anything else on the new business. So let's go to old business, and that is to an update on the special town meeting. Go ahead, sir.
I got an update from our attorney, Brian Falk. He did say that he would be unavailable on December 1st, but would have a sub available for us, but didn't know if we would be open to November 24th or December 8th.
Now, we had trouble with November 24th from our moderator. Correct.
And it's the week of Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Well,
That's a tough week.
Any time between
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and Christmas is also going to be a challenge.
Right.
And we're looking at a challenge no matter what.
Correct.
I don't see. Trying to think if there's a reason why December, what'd you say, 1st?
December 1st is, he said he could definitely have a sub for us. We just wouldn't have our regular council there.
Yeah, I mean, we've had that before, so I wouldn't be too concerned
Yeah,
about that.
And we know we got everybody else in place that we need.
Right.
Donna, any issues there?
I think I prefer 1st of December rather than...
Earlier the better, I think. I think the later you get in December, the more challenging.
Oh, yeah,
Agreed.
definitely.
Oh, yes.
Agreed. I know that ZBA Roberta anyways was thrilled that it wasn't November anymore and gives her a little bit more
Yeah,
time to manage the MBTA issue with it now being pushed to the beginning of December, but I wouldn't want to go any later than that.
No,
So,
there's a problem with that.
Right.
so let's put that in the form of a motion.
I move that we hold our special town meeting on Monday, December 1st
Second.
7 o'clock?
at 7 p.m. at Paxton Center School.
You second that?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, Select Board correspondence. I had residents' concerns over potential limited use of the COA. We have a stack of those, however, I think we've alleviated those concerns this evening, so I'm not going to go through each and every single one of those, but I do appreciate everybody that has written in. Your voice is always heard and acknowledged. Next up, I have here from a Paxton resident, looks like, and I'm going to try, here we go. I wanted to write and thank your department, meaning the fire department, for their recent work on checking my house for carbon monoxide. As it turns out, our sensor devices were out of date, and though batteries were current, one of the devices sounded an alarm sequence indicating CO2 gas, and to evacuate and call 911, which we did. The fire department people came immediately and quickly found no CO2 problem, but several out-of-date devices. I went out later that evening and purchased new 10-year devices with batteries which do not need replacing. So all have been replaced with new devices which we have tested and found they work well, and we in the future won't need to bother the fire department for no reason. I don't know if they consider that a bother. However, I'm glad they called 911. So we thank you very much again and appreciate the service your whole department provides. Our thanks to the many individuals there who showed up to help.
Certainly always better to have somebody come and check.
I had the same thing.
And let's see what we've got here. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm reading the right one here, Donna. Mentioned Paxton Pest Donate. Okay, so Paxton Pest Control donated their services because there were ground hornets, which I will tell you is nothing to fool around with. It put my wife in an emergency room up in Maine for an evening. So it says, found out the hard way, there is a ground hornet's nest to the right of the stairs at the town hall. He discovered this when working on the new garden recently. Contracted Travis for permission to get Paxton Pest Control to take care of the nest. The owner came down apparently, and he donated his services to the town to take care of that, which is no small feat. Those things are awful. They are awful.
They are
They're
nasty.
aggressive. They're awful. So thank you to Paxton Pest Control for taking care of that and making the entryway to the town hall safe yet again. Town administrators update, sir.
Thank you. It will just be a quick update tonight as we have covered a lot of information. We do have some upcoming events. Luckily, some of our other speakers have talked about the toll road, the flu clinic. So I just want to mention the MBETA info session tomorrow night. It's available via Zoom. It'll be at 7 p.m. We also have We the People coming up. So that is October 25th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's a civic engagement open house at the soccer asylum. And that is actually going to contain food trucks, cornhole, business and resident networking, and info on town initiatives that will shape our future. You can learn more about the Paxton Town Charter, the Economic Development Committee, zoning and the MBTA Communities Act, and Paxton's boards and committees. Basically, everyone listening to this is invited. It's for Paxton residents, local businesses, town boards, committees, officials, town employees, and elected representatives. What is your preferred future for Paxton? And this is a collaboration between the Paxton Charter Review Committee, the Economic Development Committee, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and you. So that sounds like a very good time there.
Yeah, it's going to be, so I've had the opportunity to sit in on those meetings, and it is going to be a networking opportunity. It is going to be an opportunity to get caught up on some of the actions of our Economic Development Committee and, of course, our Charter Review Committee. They're the ones that put this together. But it's also just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun evening from 4 to 7. I highly encourage people to come down. They've got the whole soccer asylum, so it's not like we're crammed into a little room. They're going to have all kinds of games and food, and it's going to be a good time. So hopefully, we can get the word of mouth going, and it'd be nice to fill the soccer asylum with Paxtonites and sharing, breaking bread together.
I also didn't know that that was the former site of the Paxton Navy Yard.
Yes.
Most
Yes, it
people
was.
don't know
Yeah.
that. There aren't many left. There's a few of us, but not many that
Yep.
remember
Can you
the
just
Navy Yard.
repeat the date?
It is going to be Saturday, October 25th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay. Mark
Perfect.
your calendars.
In previous town administrator updates, grants were given a good portion of the update. That's something that I am prioritizing during my time in this office. I want to make sure that I'm meeting with state representatives, local town officials to locate and apply for all potential grants to help our town. This is a very high priority for me as we need to take advantage of any possible opportunity out there. I will continue to seek out and secure any grants that can help our community. So that's something that I'm looking at doing on a daily basis. So I'm hoping the next time that we meet, I can give you some success stories during that meeting.
Terrific.
And then I just have some gratitude. I've been getting some great feedback about our town employees in some of our boards. That really warms my heart. I welcome any kind of feedback, so we always want to work as efficiently as possible. So please give me any feedback that you have. That's what really makes us, thrive as an organization and as a town. So I'm very thankful for all our boards, committees, residents, and our town employees. I love hearing feedback about how we're doing. So please keep letting me know by email, phone, or just stopping by the town hall to talk with me.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Citizens speak.
Robin? Yeah. I got two things.
I need you to come to a microphone.
Oh, sorry, yeah. All right, thank you. I'm here on behalf of the Paxton Garden Club. I do want to say, as a representative of the Books in Bloom Flower Show Committee, which is my garden club hat, we just want to thank the community as a whole for all of its support during the 3 days. We had 3 goals with this fundraiser. It had never been done before in Paxton, to our knowledge. Our goals were to bring awareness to the library and, showcase what an amazing facility they are and what they offer to everybody in town, to be a fundraiser between the Garden Club and the Friends, because it was a joint effort between the two of us, and then also to give the community a really unique event, and it was very successful. We sold out Thursday night. There were 84 people that came on Friday during the public viewing and voted for People's Choice. Winnie the Pooh won. And then we sold most of the tickets on Saturday, not all, but most, and it was a very successful fundraiser that was split between the two organizations. And I just want to acknowledge the Big Y and Holden, Country Bank, who gave us $850 grant to pay all our expenses, Charcuterie Woo, Kirk and Compass Photography, who really, you look at those photos and they look better than they were in person, which is pretty cool. House Farm and Garden, Joan Laracy, who was our presenter, Market Basket, Miles Funeral Home, pedestals from the funeral home, not worked, On the Rice Bakery, and 10 West and Wegmans. So we are very grateful for everybody's support with that. And then switching gears but keeping the garden club hat on.
Before you switch gears, I
Yes.
just want to congratulate you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
For
I know your mother personally enjoyed it. She's.
did.
I saw her when she came in with friends.
did, but congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, we were really excited. We had never done it. We are extremely thankful to the library because we moved in. Like I just kept bringing more and more suitcases. They were going to set up a cot in the basement for me at the rate I was going. And we were extremely appreciative of the library staff. Kristen and Pam and Christina were amazing. And then, of course, the library trustees because they gave us the go-ahead to run with it. So we were very grateful. So thank you. That we discovered coming in that there are more ground hornets in garden beds that we've made here in this building. There's 7 of them to be specific, so I'm going to reach out to Paxton and see if maybe they would do another in-kind donation by way of the garden club so that nobody gets stung coming into the building, although I suppose with EMS here, you're a little safer than at town hall.
I'd rather not rely on.
I know, I agree. I agree, so I do want to cover that. And then I just also want to say, as an organization that uses the COA, I am appreciative of you hearing our voice in eliminating 9 and 10. I do appreciate that. We never know what's going to happen in future budget years, but at least you're giving us one more winter to come up with a meeting space solution and for fundraising and so forth. So I'm grateful for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna, anybody else?
Yes.
Okay, you can give it to her first.
Melinda Johnson, 60 Holden Road. Thank you for listening for me right now because it's way past my bedtime. But I know in the past there had been some discussion regarding the split rail fence on Grove Street and who it belonged to, whether it would be Leicester or Paxton, but it is in disrepair. I know we had it when Carol was on as town administrator a few years back, and Leicester did repair it at that time, but it is an eyesore, and that road is a lovely road to travel on. But with the split rail fence, I don't know if something can be done to shore it up and make it look more presentable.
Yeah, what we did previously is it's Leicester Water that.
Yeah, I got in touch with Travis and he got in touch with Leicester Water.
Yeah, okay. So perhaps we can do that again.
Yeah.
I'm happy to undertake.
Yeah, just get in touch
Okay.
with.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Melinda.
Thanks, Bob. Hi, Erin Otmar, 232 West Street. So I have 3 things to say. So first of all, thank you all for entertaining the override vote and working with us. A huge thank you to Lori for pulling that off in very short notice as well, and her team and all the people who a lot of people volunteered their hours and their time to make that happen. So thank you for talking already about reinstating those funds and allowing this to happen. I'm particularly very excited that you'll be full-time. This position is way more than a full-time position. It should not be done in 20 hours, especially if you're giving up your evenings to be here in a 4-hour meeting. There's no way this can be argued to be a 20-hour position, so I appreciate that. And then the third point is really about building space. It is important for all ages. Council on Aging is very important. It's unclear who that building belongs to. If it's a town building, it belongs to the town. People of all ages should be able to use it. And kids need a warm place also to be in the winter. I was there this afternoon after school with Girl Scouts. There were 20 of us in that space. We were extremely respectful with that space. We cleaned it up. We took out the trash. We did this. We did that. We did not move a single table. There are ways to work around this issue, but that space needs to be used. There's currently 3 Girl Scout troops in Paxton. As you mentioned, we have to use public space. We cannot meet elsewhere. Karen Putney and I used to meet at the bandstand in the middle of the night, like literally in the dark with the lights on from 6:30 to 8 at night because there was no space for us, and we told the girls to wear snowsuits. We cannot do that with the younger kids. We have younger kids this time. There are kindergartners in these troops. We need a space also that is warm and clean in the winter. So thank you for bringing that. It's really, really important, and I'll keep being that voice for the younger, for the kids and the families as well. I think that's why this override vote passed, and we need to make sure that we actually honor spaces for all families in Paxton and use any space that we have. So thank you.
Good. And does that wrap up citizen speak?
I'd like to speak as a citizen, not as a selectman.
Did you sign
I
up?
was just going to say that. Did you sign up?
I didn't sign up.
We're not
Oh,
giving you
then
time.
I'm sorry. We have a list. Kirk, keep in mind you're always a selectman, but go ahead.
So I attended an event at Turnback Time this weekend. They had a harvest festival. It was an awesome event. It's really important to them as an accredited school in town, but I noticed that there was a little bit of a concern with parking along the side of Marshall Street. Someone called it in. The police were called. They were very respectful. They did their job. They responded as usual. But there's no posting for a school along that road, and that is an accredited school. And so one of the things that came up while I was there was the question of, can we post that along that section of the road as a school zone, because people were flying around Marshall Street. So I just wanted to bring that up, but also just give them a big shout out because they hosted an incredible event. There's probably 160 to 180 people there that day.
Carol, you might know that. Is that something that we can just post, or how does that work? 'Cause I don't know the answer to that question.
Do I need to reach out to Travis?
I would say Travis, he does all the postings. He'd be able to get in touch with Mass Start.
Travis would know.
Yeah.
I think it's a MassDOT issue. It might only apply to public schools.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But add
I don't think so.
to kids.
Well, I'll tell you what. The blinking lights in that probably, but you might be able to get
Yeah.
at least signage up there.
But take care, because people don't expect. I go past that all the time, and people don't expect people to come out of that.
That's true.
That lane.
Yep.
That exit. So I'd like something there.
So
Not for
even
myself, but for other people.
even alerting people that there is a school
Yeah.
there, which we certainly
And you've got
can.
Hill Street there. It's
And then blind drive.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
school buses that go up there.
Try and get
school
Right.
buses.
Robert, maybe you could talk to
I'll
Travis.
reach out to Travis.
Well,
I'm
well-
talking with Travis already.
Kirk, we'll have Robert do that.
Yeah. Robert,
Yeah.
Okay. Right,
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's nothing I would have even thought of had I not gone to the event. And they own both sides of the road, although one side is just completely wetland. But there was no one, when I got there, there was no one parked in the road. They were just parked off the side of the road. But
Yeah, they tend to park on Hill Street as well.
anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Thank you. Julia, anything else?
Yes, I had one thing that I wanted to mention from the Board of Health perspective. You may have noticed that the risk map for West Nile virus for the town of Paxton has been increased, so we are listed as high risk now. The reason for that is because there have been several human cases of West Nile virus in Paxton and around in the surrounding areas, and so that's why the risk map was updated. Unfortunately, there is a significant delay between when these infections and bites happen and when the risk map gets updated. So it's about a 2-week delay in time, which is why when we initially found out that we had a human case nearby, that we blasted it at that point, although frankly, DPH was unhappy with me about that. But we wanted to at least get the word out out so that people were aware of the risk. West Nile virus is really a flu-like illness. It's not encephalitis like you would think of for Triple E, which is a separate disease with greater concern. However, some people do respond poorly to West Nile virus. It does carry some risk factors with it for people like young and the elderly, et cetera. So it does warrant some attention. So we just ask that you be mindful, although it has been 2 weeks since those cases occurred. Just be mindful when you are out during dawn and dusk, peak mosquito activity, wear mosquito repellent with an EPA-approved active ingredient. Consider wearing long sleeves and long pants, and remove sources of standing water around your homes. And that will help to mitigate the risk. That is all.
Chris, anything else?
Nothing.
Carol?
I don't think so.
Kirk, anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
I have one item. Multiple town employees last week received a fake email, which appears to have come from me. It read, the subject line, quick errand for Employee Appreciation Initiative. The body of the email read, do you have a moment? I have a request I need you to handle discreetly. I'm going for a meeting and I need you to reply to my email. No calls. And it's signed Peter Bogren Jr., Chair, Select Board, Town of Paxton, Massachusetts. And then it says, sent from my mail. I don't even know what my mail is. The return address was office mail 18895@gmail.com. Now, I have turned this over to the police for further investigation just to see what the story is. But if there's an email that doesn't look right, it probably isn't. Don't respond. That's really important. And I appreciate Lori and Scott. Scott from the cable and Lori, our town clerk, both alerted me that this had gone out. I worried that my email had been hacked. It did not come from my email address.
No.
It's a fake email address. So a response could be phishing, or it could be somebody local. We're going to find out. If it's, hey, if this is an email address in Kazakhstan, don't click on it.
Right.
If it's local, that's a different story. That's more serious. But I just want to make sure that people were aware that this is going on, and it's something that I can guarantee I'm never going to tell you don't call. I'd rather you call if you're unsure, so it'll never say no calls. And that takes care of that. All right. Being said, I need a motion to move into executive session, to leave regular session and move to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We'll be moving into executive session.
Of teens in foster care who don't